My name is Kim, and I'm born in Sweden many years ago. No, but we've been in Spain now since the year 2000. And I'm a mother of three. We got twin boys. They're 22 and a girl of 11. And I've been working as a team, if you like, with Ole, my husband. Or we're not married, but we kind of lived together for 18 years, yeah. And I teach yoga on the side. And yeah, just living normal life, basically.
And you're a writer nowadays.
I wouldn't say a writer, though, because I've interviewed for 8 people and then compiled it into a book. So it's not really my words, it's their words. And I've interviewed these 8 people because I think they're absolutely amazing. So, yeah, so I've more edited the book.
And which people did you interview and why?
Well, about this time last year, Zen Gardner and Max Egan came to see us in Spain because Louise, a neighbor of ours, organized a week of talks for the local people and the local community and so on. And I was helping during that week with food and so on. And I was walking around in my head, I want to do something more as well. But I'm not at all a researcher or a speaker like these guys are. I think they're absolutely phenomenal. But I always go back to basic. And I feel where my dad comes from a lot. He sits up in Sweden watching the news, being brainwashed, being quite full of fear, like many are, thinking that it's all the Muslims' faults and, you know. So I thought, how can we reach the more people in an easier way? Because if you start opening the door into this kind of alternative information and waking up and kind of feeling with your heart and soul a bit more, it's quite daunting. It's quite daunting. You don't know where shall I start. You know, if you start on Zen Gardner's website or Ole's website, for example, it's so huge, so you don't really know, oh my God, this is too much. I go back to the normal news because you don't really know. It's too much, it's overwhelming. So I thought, how can we put together some information for the normal average person that is maybe the single mom that is working 2 jobs to feed her kids and so on, or, you know, my dad, for example, to kind of tap in or open the door with normal questions that are facing us daily, like the chemtrails that are in the sky today, or the banking system, or vaccinations that are, it's just questions that are normal. So I compiled 14 questions and I've interviewed these 8 amazing people in volume 1, because when I did the questions, I thought, oh, there's so many questions, you know, and so many people as well. So these are the 8 I started with. And the 14 questions, but it feels like it's going to be an ongoing project so that's why we call this one volume 1.
You were very limited, of course,
Yeah.
with this one question.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, did you get an answer?
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, I felt really blessed and honored. Everybody said yes, that I wanted in the book. And you know, it's interesting to hear Zen answer the same question as Cynthia McKenna, who sits in the States, or, you know, but everybody have straightforward answers to the questions, but they have a little bit of different twist to the answers they give, absolutely. But for me, you know, just sitting there listening, because I rather ask questions than sitting here.
And was it astonishing for you? Really astonishing?
No, for me, no, because I started this, I don't know, wake-up call, if you like, in my teens, being at school. I left school as soon as I was legally allowed to do so when I was 15, and I never gone back until I found what I really wanted to study, instead of being that frame and the programming that I felt horrendous. So, and then about 20 years ago, David Icke's book, Robots Rebellion, landed in my lap, and I thought, my God, finally somebody who's written something that I feel, you know. And this was kind of, it was before the internet, so it wasn't you can sit there and look up, you know, and something like that. And 2 years later I met Ole. And then I thought, I have a friend for life. It's the first one ever that I can speak to, because all my friends are family. And I feel this with a lot of people today as well. They start opening up the door. They want information. Our sons are 27, so I see that a lot with them. But nobody else wants to know. And that makes you feel very alone. You know, it makes you frustrated. I was screaming. I was crying. I was, you know, how can you not want, why don't you want to know this information? Why do you want to be, you know, so closed-minded? So for me personally, with the answers that these guys did in the book, it wasn't really news for me because I've been in it for some time and I know, but it was fantastic to hear anyway. But I'm not, you know, one of the questions, what is chemtrails? Can you explain what that is? I know what that is, but some people don't. Or vaccinations, or the banking industry, or so on. So, yeah. But amazing answers. I really find that it could help to open doors where some, you know, you can't force feed people, but maybe with this kind of information in that format, it might be easier to just sow a seed and then, oh my God, I'm going to vaccinate my child tomorrow. And that book might land in the lap and you got 8 people answering that question that you can actually look up. They've been doing this for years and years, these guys. So, yeah.
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 Can you tell who you did interview? It was David Icke?
It's David Icke, Kevin Barrett, Ken O'Keefe, Ole Dammegard, Zen Gardner, and then we have 3 women. I wanted 4, but we'll see in the next book. Cynthia McKenna, Sophia Smallstorm, and Carrie Cassidy.
Okay,
yeah, so they're all different, you know, different nationalities and different fields and so on. But David Icke for me was, you know, he was the one that kind of came into my life. And first, you know, I started reading his books and so on. So that was brilliant to get him in there. And he can talk a lot as well, so it's fantastic. I didn't want to stop him, you know. So his chapter is a lot, it's double the size as somebody else's.
So next book is about David Icke.
If he says yes, yeah, but there's others to interview as well. So there's lots of fantastic people out there that have been working against the wind for so many years. Yeah.
Okay, so when can we look forward to your next book?
Well, just before we came here, actually, I said to Ole, because I said in some other interviews I've done on radio that I'm going to start the next one in July. But honestly, we want this to be marketed first because there's no point me wasting other people's time if we can't market this. And we're not so good with marketing and Twitter. We're not even on, you know, you need to be on there. And we live in the countryside in Spain and are kind of grounded in that. But I guess maybe we need to start being more on the internet and so on.
We're going to help you.
Thank you. Yeah, if anybody wants to start tweeting or, you know, because people do ask, that's why I wanted the title, so what can I do? Because I hear people asking these guys all the time. So what can I do? What can I do? I want to help. What can I do? You know, so it's...
But first they have to believe what's going on.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
They need the truth before they are going to ask, so what can I do? So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. But it's interesting with these guys as well in the book because even though they're so different, they kind of come to the same conclusion that you do need to start with yourself. Because if you start with this kind of information before you're actually grounded in who you are, and not many people are these days because of the programming we get from school and parents and grandparents who want to do their best, but they didn't know, you know, we know better, we do better. But so, you know, the message as well is start with yourself. You need to know who you are. You need to kind of be in, well, they've been talking today a lot about being in the heart, which is quite a long trip from the mind to the heart is probably the longest we do sometimes. So yeah, it's that came through a lot as well, which is nice.
Yeah, that's not a fast travel. No. Kim, I really want to thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Telling your story, and yeah, you can see the book. So what can I do?
So what can I do?
Thank you very much.
Thank you
maybe
for having me.
We see you next time.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks.
you.